continue our coverage on the impact of the lockdown level 4 that was announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Sunday. We're at a wine farm, and I'm going to be in conversation then with Peter Pentz, who's going to talk to us about the impact of this new alert lockdown level 4. We're inside a wine cellar. I'm sure our viewers can see by now. Talk to us about the impact of the overall announcement by the president. Of course, this also affecting alcohol sales as well.
Thanks for being here and allowing us to tell our story. I think there's two major factors that come into play with this lockdown new level, adjusted level 4. First of all, we look at the economic factor. There's economic factor. We don't only sell to the public, we sell to restaurants, to hotels, to lodges. So there's a whole supply chain being affected. You know, the wine sales make such a big part of the economic side of the Western Cape as well as in South Africa. And that's been affected, that's been heavily affected. There's no sales happening domestically. So the ripple effect of that is far more than just the wine, There's the effect of our suppliers being affected, people supplying us with bottles, with labels, people servicing the cellar, maintenance. So the ripple effect is far more than just that. Secondly, we've got the social factor that comes into play. We're one of more than 500 wine farms in Africa. Here at Groote, we employ between 60 and 80 people throughout the year, who's dependent on a monthly salary. Currently, we are still paying full salaries, but it's difficult having 60 to 80 people employed when you can't sell wine. And we're just one of more than 500 wine farms. There's thousands of people that are dependent on a salary from a wine seller, from a wine producer. And that's only directly paid. They take care of more people in their families. Most of our employees working here live on the farm. Their whole family live on the farm. They're part of our Groote family. So it's a far more reaching consequences and effects than just a blanket ban.
Now, then there's always this debate then when alcohol is banned in terms of sales. There's always a debate about livelihoods versus lives, considering the fact that there's this Delta variant that is really driving these cases up in as far as the positivity rate for COVID-19 is concerned. What do you then have to say around that factor of trying to weigh and balance livelihoods and lives?
That's a very good question, and I think we as a wine industry, as a wine farm, is fully committed to the responsible trading and consumption of liquor and wine. We acknowledge the fact that there's a third wave and stricter measures are in place. We just believe a total alcohol ban is not the answer. We could look at the statistics of illegal trading of wines and alcohol going up. Where there's a will, there's a way, and people will get a way to get alcohol. And that will also increase the trauma cases. So we believe we need to relook the whole thing, look at stricter measures of looking at the consumption of alcohol and having harder implications for people disobeying the law. Because as a wine farm, we are fully committed to the responsible sale and consumption, wine for enjoyment, not making the lives harder and the hospitals fuller.
What is the wine industry then doing to ensure that people consume alcohol in a responsible manner? Because we know that historically in South Africa there's a lot of substance abuse and certainly the abuse of alcohol thereof. What is the wine industry then doing to ensure that even during a pandemic, people are consuming alcohol and wine in a responsible manner?
I think the main thing here is ARA coming into play. That drink responsibly, wine is not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Enforcing that with our messaging, with our advertising, enforcing the message of responsible drinking, getting us on the wine farms, relaying that message to our customers, knowing when enough is enough, ensuring that people do not drive under the influence of alcohol, and just reiterating that alcohol, especially wine, is best enjoyed responsibly. That's all part of the messaging. And like I said, we're fully committed. Vinpro is doing a lot with ARA as well to get out that message and to ensure that we adhere to this measures, you know. It is very important that what we say, we do. And I truly believe the wine industry is doing the most to ensure that this is done in a responsible manner.
Now, before I let you go, Peter, there has been a lot of backlash in as far as the decision that was made by the NCCC about placing the country again on lockdown level 4. The alcohol industry, for one, is certainly not pleased. Some political parties are going as far as wanting to defy the regulations. Now, what I want to find out from you is, do you believe that there was enough consultation with all key role players in South Africa when this decision was made by the NCCC and certainly the first citizen of the country?
I definitely think it's important to note that even though there was a certain amount of consultation with Vinpro, there has been advisory from them, Vinpro being our board over there, advising the government as to what they think is the best. Still, the government decided not to follow that route. That's quite disappointing. That's quite disappointing. The restaurant industry being hard hit about that. And I mean, being said they weren't consulted, but there wasn't time given to, you know, all of a sudden, we just heard the announcement on Sunday. There was no lead time given to us as an industry to say, be prepared, this is going to happen. We heard this exact same time, all the citizens of South Africa was heard. And all of a sudden, you come back to on a Monday and do crisis control. And that's not fair. That's definitely not fair. I think there's a way out. And like you said previously, the fine balance between livelihoods and economic livelihoods needs to be followed, and more consultation, and we need to speak more. We need to sit around the table and see how can we make this work, because there's always a way. Looking internationally, we're one of the only countries having alcohol ban. We want to follow international leads and international trends. Let's see how other countries are doing it and find a middle way that can please everyone and have responsible enjoyment of wine.
Now, there are talks and concerns that this 14-day period could be extended. We've seen that in the previous lockdowns, and looking at the rate at which these figures are going up in all provinces and certainly in Gauteng. What's going to happen then to those employees that you still are paying a salary to if this period is prolonged?
I can't speak on behalf of other wine farms. But certainly we will support our employees as far as possible. They are so part of our family, they're part of the company culture. We can't be without them. They're such an integral part of the wine industry. The lady helping us packing wine in our warehouse, without her, the wine can't go out. She's a key player in a chain, and we value them, and we need to secure them. It's our responsibility to look after them. And we really hope that government sees this and sees that the employees of a wine farm is a critical part of our economy as well, and that they will come to us to say, let's make a plan.
Peter, I do thank you so much for your time. Well, that is reaction from some of the wine farms in the Western Cape. You may know that the Western Cape is very much well known for the wine industry and the impact it has on the economy of this particular province and certainly across the country. This is now their reaction to President Cyril Ramaphosa announcing on Sunday that the country is back to alert lockdown level 4 with tighter restrictions and, of course, the alcohol ban also affecting industries such as the wine industry and certainly many other industries that have now felt the effects of the announcement by President Cyril Ramaphosa. I'll leave it there for now. For Newsroom Africa on Channel 4005, I'm Athi Mtongana in the Western Cape.